Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eat More Football, the show that satisfies your craving for hot takes. We are never disappointed with the sport of college football. I'm telling you, every week. Especially since 2021, last year. Last year's season was just insane, and I feel like the Renaissance season. I feel like ever since last year, we've just completely gotten into a new sport of just interesting upsets and not everyone being completely dominant. So thank goodness for that.
And field stormings.
Yeah, and field stormings.
Like field storming season.
South Carolina decided to storm Clemson's field, so that's fun. FSU decided to storm the field after winning against a 6-6 Florida team by only a touchdown. So anything is possible. Who knows? But let us move on to this week in sports. Coaching news. That is the big thing. And it always seems to be that way at the end of the season. But a lot of coaching news coming on some very high-profile jobs. Luke Fickell is expected to start at Wisconsin next season. Out with the old, in with the new. Sorry, Cincinnati. Now the Cincinnati job will be open. So that's fun. I don't even know what to think of that. That's a great hire, though. Luke Fickell is a phenomenal head coach, and I think he will do really well at Wisconsin, at least getting them back on track to where they want to be. But any thoughts on that?
Not much. I think it's a fantastic hire. I'm surprised he didn't get a bigger job in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I know last year, TJ, you were talking about you wanted him to be Florida's next head coach. But I guess Florida didn't offer him. So
yeah, and if you think about his roots are in the Big Ten, so that's probably what he's waiting for, a Big Ten job. And Wisconsin's a good job.
Yeah. Definitely. Hugh Freeze, that's a name. Back at it again. Potentially, but it's pretty set in stone. He is going to Auburn and will most likely be the next head coach of the Auburn Tigers. We will not talk about what has happened in the past. Hugh Freeze, he's a reformed convict now.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Seriously, but
fit right in at Auburn.
Yeah, yeah.
Trashy school.
Went to coaching rehab at the Liberty Flames. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what will happen?
I'm hearing it might not be a done deal though. Lately, they came out and said that they may be kind of backing off him here as of late.
Really? That's interesting. You never know what's going to happen. We'll see what Josh Pate has to say on that. Matt Rule. This is an official one. Matt Rule to Nebraska, next coach of the Cornhuskers. I think it's a good hire. He did a great job at Baylor, really getting them back on track to where they wanted to be. Past couple seasons for Baylor haven't been astounding. 2021, that was a good season, but this past year hasn't been too special with Dave Aranda, the human Goomba. But, it happens. Look at Florida. But so Matt Rule in Nebraska, I think it's a good hire. Really didn't do much with the Panthers, but hey, some coaches just don't do well in the NFL, like Urban Meyer.
Like Nick Saban.
Yeah, or Nick Saban.
Especially Urban Meyer.
Yeah, especially Urban Meyer. So yeah, keep you updated with coaching news and everything, and we'll see what happens on that. Any additional thoughts?
Good hire.
Good hire. Nice. All right. Rivalry week recap. I had to say that a little slowly because I wouldn't be able to say it otherwise. So we will start off Florida versus number 16 FSU. Florida is defeated 45-38 in Tallahassee. They looked like the better team, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Jordan Travis had an outstanding game. This really put him on the map, I feel like, especially that being a Friday game and no other games were on. People kind of saw what Jordan Travis is. So I expect him to be a little higher on people's radar. And I hope he is because he's a great quarterback. But yeah, they just looked like the better team. First of all, the refs were garbage. On both sides of the ball, not just Florida. A garbage PI call at the end of the game that extended our drive and almost, we could have tied it up if we hadn't been stupid. But Like that's ridiculous. And then a missed face mask penalty on Anthony Richardson, which that's stupid too. Like the ref was standing right there, and the dude grabbed his face mask and yanked it, and it was just you got to call it what you see. But so yeah, FSU looked like the better team. A lot of penalties from Florida. A trend in the past couple weeks as the least penalized team in the SEC. We're getting a lot of penalties as of late, so I'm not a fan of that. Anthony, I mean, we completely turned off in the second half. Like, it was ridiculous. The stat comparison is ridiculous. I'm not going to go through it now, but exponentially lower the second half than in the first half. And I don't know what happened or what was said during halftime in the locker room, but we just came out and did not execute the way that I would have liked us to execute. So any additional thoughts on that?
I do. My sister, her best friend goes to FSU. So my sister was invited. She sat in the student section. She rushed the field. I asked her and she was like, yeah, I rushed the field. And then I was like, what? Send some pictures. And then she's getting back tomorrow. So I'll ask her and then we can put those on the EMF page.
Yes. The Instagram. Yeah. Yes. That is a good idea. Why would you storm your field after winning against 6-6 Florida? You were favored by 10. You didn't cover the spread and you almost lost. Like, that's stupid. It's so dumb. Did you know that Florida has never stormed Ben Hill Griffin? In the history of Ben Hill Griffin, Florida has never stormed Ben Hill Griffin. What can I say?
There's always a first.
Oh, yeah, but, well, I don't think we'll be storming the field anytime soon. Trust me.
Next year, maybe.
We didn't even storm it during Utah, and that was a walk-off interception to win the game. And that was against number 7 Utah and unranked Florida. Just saying. What can I say? All right. NC State versus number 17 North Carolina. Double overtime. NC State wins 30-27. Craig and I were watching this game when we went down there for Thanksgiving, but I mean, that was a rough game. I mean, it was just sleepy the entire time. It was so awful. And the refs were bad again. So, I mean, Craig, wasn't it like that one call at the end of the game that completely gave NC State the game? I
don't remember.
I thought it was like a drop pass or something like that. I feel like I remember it being that way, but I'm not.
Well, Drake May, he was terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
I say terrible, just their offense, period. It wasn't all Drake May.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It did not look good. So I'm not going to cover that too much because it's ACC football. So. But yeah. So 30-27 final score. TCU curb stomps Iowa State. I mean, completely. It was just ridiculous. What was it? 63-10, I think. And Iowa State doesn't have a bad defense, contrary to all of the Big 12. But I mean, TCU just dominated that entire game. That's all I'm going to say. Number 15 Notre Dame defeated by number 6 USC. That's a good win on USC's resume, even though it's just Notre Dame. But it's still that's a good win that now has them in the AP poll at number 4. So that is good for them.
Notre Dame's been turning it on late. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they played well. They fumbled in the third quarter, which gave USC a 3-score advantage. But I can't wait to see USC get in the playoff because I want to see them against really good teams, and then I'll make my judgment because their defense is still not impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Number 5 LSU got beat by Texas A&M 38-23. I don't know what happened, but I will laugh. Ha ha ha. Because LSU, what happened? What happened, guys? What happened? I mean, it's A&M. What? Guys,
that's beautiful.
I just feel like it always happens. It always happens against LSU and A&M. That game is so messed up.
It's crazy every year.
It's crazy every year. So, I don't know. Every time that A&M gets this close to doing something with Jimbo Fisher, then they win a game and they can't do anything anymore. It's I just want to get rid of Jimbo. Can't you just lose more games? But let's see. Number 3, Michigan takes down number 2 Ohio State. The Buckeyes have gone down 45-23. Who picked it? I picked it. Just like that. Just
On
like
the show.
On the show. No, you changed your pick on top 20.
Doesn't matter. You still can pick it. You can't go back to the tape. Did I pick it? Let's watch the film.
I'll see what
those insurance commercials.
Yeah.
Drop the challenge.
Yeah.
No, but I picked it. I went out on a limb with that, but yeah. So it ended up almost the exact same score as last year's game, which is that's pretty depressing for Ohio State. That kind of takes them out of the playoffs, just with how things are going with USC and TCU. I can still expect them to make a case, but they don't have any more games. So honestly, I think it might be over for the Bucks this year.
I agree. I think they're done. They should be done at least.
Yeah. So that is that. Now, I'm thinking of one more game. Well, first of all, we're running out of time on the meeting. So we will get right back to you. I'll make some quick cuts, bada bing, bada boom, and we will get right back to you with some more last rivalry week recap game, because this one's a fun one, guys. All right, our last game to cover for this week. A certain team from South Carolina beat the number 8 Clemson Tigers. Let's go, guys. Come on. Let's do it. Yeah, right there.
Beamer
That's
ball.
right. Beamer ball.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Beamer ball. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Beamer
31-30. I don't know how this happened, guys. I mean, Clemson just stinks, don't they? That's just ridiculous. I'm not a Clemson hater. I just did this for comedic effect. But, I mean, they just really stink. It's awful. Like, how? I mean, they turned the ball over, 3 or 4 times? That's so stupid.
One of them was a so bad interception by DJ. Just overthrew it by 5 yards. The guy just catches it like a punt. I mean, that he's 8 for 29, 99 yards and a pick, 1 touchdown. QBR 27.5.
Oh,
come on, man. You can't do that.
Gosh. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Not good. So, anyways, that was the highlight of my day. You won't get that from me very often. That's usually Craig's thing. But I want to
dub the music in.
Yeah. Yeah. But all right. So yeah, a crazy week of college football, as always this season. It's been really wild. And this is our last regular season show. I mean, come on, guys. That's a landmark.
It's hard to believe.
And that's why I wore my show about nothing t-shirt. Because
what is this show is a show about nothing?
I mean, it's not a show about nothing, but honestly, sometimes. We talked about candy corn for 20 minutes one time.
That's true.
Like, we can do anything. But no, yeah, it's been a wild ride on our first season of Eat More Football. So I look forward to continuing, because we're not stopping for anybody. I'll tell you that. All right, let's do it. Go on to winner, chicken dinner.
All right, my winner chicken dinner. I had a few that were in competition for this award for me. We just mentioned one of them, South Carolina. Great job by them. I think that was huge. Spencer Rattler came back and played another solid game. Not great, but
somehow.
I'm going to go in a little different direction. It's the team that beat the number 5 team in the college football world, the LSU Tigers, Texas A&M. And I have to say, Devin Achane is an impressive guy. I saw him first, I think it might have been against Arkansas this year, and I had no idea who he was, and watched him run the football. And he went for 38 carries, 215 yards and 2 touchdowns against LSU. So outstanding performance. Probably the biggest storyline, though, was that he's been banged up and hurt, and that he actually wanted to play for his team. A lot of guys that have his talent would sit it out, just shut it down, say, I want to get healthy for the next year. This guy just kept fighting, played. Probably wasn't 100%, although he looked close to 100%, and played for his teammates, and they won a huge game at home. So hats off to Devin Achane and the performance he had.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
All right. I guess I'm up next. I'm going with the winner of the Apple Cup, which is a lame name for a rivalry. But Michael Penix Jr., he had a great game. This game, he was 25 of 43, 485 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and threw a 75-yard bomb for a touchdown. He's been playing great, honestly. Like, if he would have turned this on like halfway through the season, like he'd be in the Heisman conversation. He just has so many passing yards, so many passing touchdowns. So hats off to Michael Penix, the transfer from Indiana.
Nice. That's a good one. My winner chicken dinner. I've been a little bit of a homer. The Michigan Wolverines just coming back for a second straight year and blowing out the Buckeyes in the Horseshoe. I mean, this is the first time they've won at the Horseshoe. What did they say, since 2000?
2000.
2000. I wasn't even alive, guys. We weren't alive back then.
-6.
Pre 9/11. The last time they beat Ohio State in the Horseshoe was pre 9/11. Like, that's insane. Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, now I'm a little bit of a homer because my girlfriend's dad is a Michigan fan, but
Homer.
I can be a homer all I want. I've always liked Michigan. I like their colors. Great fight song, one of the best. So
Great helmet.
And I think that is the only helmet that the Rydell Axiom actually works with. Like, because
sure?
Yes. Maybe I'll flash a picture or something.
It looks
I don't
better.
know.
It doesn't really fit.
Well, the whole Rydell Axiom helmet looks like Dookie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think the Michigan helmet makes it look a little bit better. And maybe Noah, you can look it up and then see for yourself. But let me read some stats here. 16 first downs, third down efficiency, 7 for 16. So not really anything special, but 530 total yards, 278 through the air, and 252 rushing, and 7.2 yards per rush. Especially in the second half, that came, a lot in handy. Ohio State lost the turnover battle 2 to Michigan 0. And Ohio State also had 9 penalties for 91 yards, which did not help at all. Some individual stuff that happened. J.J. McCarthy, 12 for 24, so exactly 50%. That's always fun. 263 yards and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. QBR was 92.6. And then that running back, Donovan Edwards. I mean, he showed out in that game, especially in the last quarter. 22 carries, 216 yards, 9.8 yards per carry. His longest run was 85 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. And J.J. McCarthy ran it in for a touchdown. So I think it was a really balanced game by the Wolverines. Sorry to our Ohio State friend, Jacob Huber, who may or may not watch this, but Noah, maybe you can tell him to watch this episode and skip to this part, just so he'll get angry. But
I'll give him the timestamp.
Yeah, seriously. But so yeah, overall a great game by the Michigan Wolverines, in my opinion. One of the best games all season that I've watched, because it was very exciting, very entertaining for me to watch. So cool. Winner chicken dinner. All right. This is conference championship week, guys. We're winding down. This is where it gets tough. Not in the SEC, because I think we can all agree Georgia's going to destroy LSU, but this is where it gets serious. So let's just do some conference championship picks, starting off with, we're actually on schedule with the AP poll. So number 12, Utah versus number 4, USC. And I think USC comes in favored like -2 or something.
2.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
so we'll start with we'll do Craig, Noah, and then me.
Yeah, I think I've got to go with USC. Very impressed with their game on Saturday against Notre Dame. I've been a big doubter. They actually played pretty physical on the defensive side of the ball against a Notre Dame team that's big up front, likes to run the football. You can never count out Kyle Whittingham, but I got to go with Lincoln Riley. His team's playing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I've been a little biased because I've been defending Alabama's playoff route, which probably won't. It's like the Hawkeye meme in game. Don't give me hope. So I have to pick USC. Like, I want Utah to win, but like, I gotta pick USC. Like, they're gonna win. Caleb Williams is just playing out of his mind.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm going for right here, just like this. Heisman, just like that. That was
I think
Heisman.
that's how it goes.
Heisman.
Was that a
Heisman,
Heisman?
just like that. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But I'm a little cramped in the space. I'm cramped. But Heisman.
Let me out.
Yeah, let me out of the box. But Caleb Williams for Heisman, just like that. Tuck it and run. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna play out of his mind. I guarantee you, because that's what Caleb Williams does. So that's that. I got the USC Trojans. Next number. Hold on. Whoops. Yeah, number 13 Kansas State versus number 3 TCU in the Big 12 title game. Who you got?
I'm a believer with TCU too. Although Kansas State is tough team. I mean, they are a good football team. Again, this is more me picking what I want to see happen in the playoff because I think if TCU loses, they still have a shot, but it may not be likely that they get in. But I'm going with the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, me too. I mean, realistically, Bama's not making the playoff. So I want TCU to end up winning the whole thing. That'd be so fun. So give me the Horned Frogs again.
I can get on that train. I can go TCU for the national championship. I'd love that. Parody.
I love this TCU team. I love it. I mean, 63 points against Iowa State. That's so fun. I mean, they're playing some fun and gun football, which I've always been a fan of. They're going to need to play very tough against a good Kansas State team. So I think it will be close. What's the line? It is
2.5.
TCU also minus 2.5. But I think TCU will pull it off. It is it's at TCU. So that's
It's in Arlington.
Or it's in Arlington.
Yeah.
No.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Jerry World.
Which
Jerry's
is home,
World.
yeah, which is home field for TCU. So I think that fan base is going to show out. I got TCU. Cool. On to the next one. Number 11, LSU versus number 1, Georgia. Georgia comes in minus 16.5. That's rough. And so let's just, yeah.
Going all favorites. I got to go with the Bulldogs. I could see a picture where LSU could play well and keep it close and maybe have a shot at the end. But how do you go against Georgia at this point? I mean, they just find ways to win and they're solid across the board.
Yeah.
This is one of the few times I'll pick Georgia. Like, I'll root for Georgia. When Georgia plays Auburn, I root for Georgia. And when Georgia plays LSU, I root for Georgia. So give me the Dogs to win. Not cover, but they'll win.
Roof.
I'm not doing that.
In the words of our friend Lonnie, the guaranteed, baby. I got the dogs. Sadly. But
oh, Bailey.
Yeah, that's about what happened. Well, yeah. All right. Next one. Number 22 UCF versus number 18 Tulane rematch. And that is, I'm assuming, closer to Louisiana because it says Tulane has the home field. But
yeah, it's in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
So, yeah, I mean, Tulane comes in also a 2.5 point favorite. All these games are very close in the point spread. So, Craig, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, UCF hasn't played extremely well. Obviously, they lost to Navy 2 weeks ago and then barely beat South Florida this past week. South Florida's 1-11. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, and this is the second time they've played them this year. It's always hard to beat a team twice in 1 year. So I got Tulane beating UCF.
Yeah, this is tough. I like what the American does. They pick the team with the highest in-conference record, and they have them home field advantage. Like, that'd be pretty fun to see if like SEC did that. Like, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm picking Tulane, the Green Wave. They're 2.5 favorites, and home field advantage factors in. So it'll be close, but Tulane.
Yep. UCF has no defense. Tulane, big. Well, not big, but
Really?
over 2.5, I think. Over 2.5. I think UCF will get up, but I mean, home field, UCF has no defense. UCF lost to Navy. Navy is bad. Tulane, plus 2.5. or yeah, mine probably not +2.5, covered spread. Next, Purdue versus number 2 Michigan. I mean, the Purdue curse has been around my family for quite some time now. That whenever my mom picks against Purdue, Purdue wins. And whenever my mom picks Purdue my goodness, Purdue loses. That's hard to say. Purdue
Marshmallow
loses.
mouth.
Yeah, so the Purdue curse has been around for quite some time. I'm hoping to get over that because I'm looking to see Michigan through this whole playoff thing. So
tell her to pick Michigan then.
Yeah.
Purdue is going to be Big Ten champs.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that's some ridiculousness. Michigan comes in -16.
Oof. First of all, like we talked about last week, they should be the top 2 teams. We should see Michigan and Ohio State rematch. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that'd probably still be a blowout. But I'm so bold on this pick that if Purdue wins, I'm going with Michigan. But if Purdue wins, I will literally buy a Purdue hat and a Purdue shirt and wear it on the next show.
Please do
mark that down.
Please do that.
Purdue, Michigan. You see, TJ, his girlfriend's dad is a Michigan fan. My girlfriend's dad is an Ohio State fan. So that might put things at odds, but I got to go with Michigan. There's no way they lose this game. Craig, I will also buy a Purdue hat and a Purdue shirt if they win.
Yes.
I'm not making any bets on this show. Ever since we need to talk about so Steve, our resident U.S. Army currently serving top 20 member. What's Steve doing? Isn't he like a doctor?
In the medical,
medical field. Yeah. So thank you, Steve, for his service. Craig's cousin, my second cousin, but he decided to make a bet with Craig. Well, he made the mistake of betting with Craig that UCF would win, and if Navy won the UCF game, because Steve graduated from UCF, that Steve, as an Army,
it is because of this wager that I stand before you today
shirt. So
to give my full support
find a way to
to the United States Naval
into the
Academy
up there
for the remainder
with,
of the
Steve's video
2022
that he
college
sent
football
on the top
season.
20. So shout
Double
out to
whammy.
So without further ado,
keeping to his word. But that taught me never to make bets with Craig.
That's right.
Because that is not good.
go Navy.
I'm not going to make any bets if Michigan wins because I think Michigan's going to win. So Michigan, go blue. Let's do it. All right. Last one, ACC championship game, number 10, Clemson versus number 24, North Kakalaki. Clemson is favored at 8. So that's that. I mean, Drake May has been playing bad. It is in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Kakalaki. So home field for North Carolina.
I mean, the ACC conference itself just continues to disappoint over and over and over again, especially now that Clemson is not the dominant Clemson they've been in the last 10 years or whatever. So this game, to me, I love college football, but this game to me, looking at it as a snoozer. I don't really care who wins. But if I had to pick somebody, we're going to have to go with Clemson. I'm going all favorites. I'm going Vegas.
Yeah, picking Vegas. Yeah, same. Snoozer pick. You know, DJ's was okay middle of the season. He's dropped off a cliff. Drake May has not fallen into a cliff. He's gone into a valley, I guess. A little bit. So, yeah, he's fallen off a little bit. But I really don't like Clemson. And this game really means nothing. I'm out of the top 20 winning it anyways.
Join the club.
North Carolina, my birth state.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Going for the upset. Wow. That's rough. Okay. Yeah. I got Clemson. I'm going to keep it short, but DJ has 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Drake May has 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I just wanted to point that out, but I got Clemson. What I say, they're favored -8. So that's the spread. I'm not going to bet against that. I wouldn't bet against that. So, all right, let's quickly go through our playoff picture. I'm in agreement with the AP poll right now because I told Noah, and Noah can be my eyewitness. I told you after church this morning I said Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC, and Ohio State. That is what it should be. And then I look at the AP poll, came out at 2:00, and that's what was released. So I got one right. And I'm in agreement with that because USC has been playing really well. They beat Notre Dame by a significant amount. I mean, significant enough. Ohio State lost by double digits to Michigan. TCU just obliterated Iowa State. And of course, Georgia and Michigan, they've been, Georgia's the same. They destroyed Georgia Tech. Michigan should move up 1 to number 2 because, they beat Ohio State. TCU moves up 1. USC moves into it because they actually won their game, and Ohio State moves down out of it because they lost significantly against Michigan. Ohio State did lose significantly to Ohio State, honestly. So sorry, Ohio State fans. Any additional thoughts on that? I mean, we'll see when the playoff rankings actually come out on Tuesday, what happens.
Yeah.
But that's what I think it should be.
Yeah. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC. Like, it's pretty cut and dry right now.
Yeah.
We'll see it after conference championship week.
Yes.
I
yes.
honestly think you could argue for Michigan to be number 1, which some people are starting to say. I mean, their best win is 20-plus point win over Ohio State. What's Georgia's over Tennessee, who's got 2 losses? So depends on how much stock you put in Ohio State, which I don't think there is a lot there because I think the SEC is better than the Big Ten. But I would actually have Alabama at number 5 over Ohio State, and the AP's got it flipped there. I think Alabama would have their way with Ohio State on the field.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. I mean, I don't know. It's weird because, I think about how hard Alabama plays pretty consistently because Alabama, they're not one to just drop a game versus a mediocre team, and I think, okay, if Alabama were to play, honestly, if Alabama were to play a lot of the teams that are in the top 25, I feel like they would curb stomp them. And it wouldn't be just oh, we're going to lose by double digits, because Alabama is still a very good team, but they just happen to lose 2 really close games against opponents who at the time were playing really good football. But
I think, go ahead.
But that being said, Alabama, because they have 2 losses, they still lost and should not be in the college football playoff because a loss is a loss, even if it's a close loss to a really good team. That's why I put Ohio State over Alabama, because at least Alabama, or at least Ohio State, doesn't have 2 losses. Alabama,
but if Ohio State played in the SEC, they probably would have 2 losses.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a harder conference, but
here's what should tell you kind of how people feel about Alabama. If I'm not an Alabama fan, which the majority of the country isn't, I'm scared that Alabama is going to get into the playoff because I know what Alabama is going to do when they get into the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
No, and they got a shot to win the national championship, and nobody wants to see Alabama outside of Tuscaloosa win the national championship again, right? So that tells you all you need to know about whether Alabama truly is good enough to be in the top 4.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, do they deserve it more than others? Probably not at this point right now.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Just based on resume.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if USC loses in the Pac-12 championship, I think they'll leapfrog Ohio State because 2 really close losses on the road to 2 good teams are better than 1 really bad loss to a good team at your home stadium.
Yeah.
I agree. If USC loses, Alabama should be number 4.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. It'll be the first time a 2-loss team would make the playoff. So breaking ground.
Alabama was also the first team to not win their conference championship and make the playoff.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. That's crazy.
I think they won it all that year, didn't they?
Yeah. 2017, 2018 season.
Oof.
Yeah. I have my thoughts on that too, but not being your conference champion and winning the national championship when there's only 4 teams that get to the playoff. But that's another topic of discussion.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Last thing for today. Tales from the top 20. Craig, let's get us into it.
All right, what a week! Lots of upsets. It seems to be. I think the first part of the year there were not a ton of upsets, and people were doing great. 17-3, 16-4. Now it's like more like 10-10s or 7-13s. But the top ones for the week were Russell, Lindsay, and David at 13-7. Bulls Market, Russell jumped 2 spots. Lindsay jumped 2. Dan, Jerry, and Mary Beth actually jumped 2. Bears Market, Mike Leach cough. Myself 4 spots down. Matt 3 spots down. Lucy 3 down. Jason 3 down. So the spoiler alert for Dog Ate My Homework. The only person in the Bears Market that turned in their picks was me. So those people lost all those spots because I did so poorly. So everybody can thank me for tanking those people that didn't turn in their homework, because Lucy, Matt, and Jason did not. Their dog ate their homework. So anyway, who should work for Vegas? Russell, 2-0 for upsets. Ted went 1-0 for his upset pick, and then Lindsay hit 3 out of her 4 upset picks, so she was 75%. So that's awesome. Shaken Not Stirred. Darren picked 8 upsets, and so did Mary Beth. Surprisingly, because of the week that it was, they both hit on 50% of those. So they both went 4-4, which if they would have just picked with all the favorites, they would have just done the same exact thing. So pick of the week. All right. Beamer ball. We had 5 people go with Beamer ball, and it was a 14-point spread for Clemson. So it's Juan, Justin, Darren, Mary Beth, and Dean all went with the Gamecocks. Pick of the week. So what a terrible, terrible week to pick the favorites, but some people survived nonetheless. And overall, we still got John at number 1. And just like death and taxes, it's consistent. It's always the same. Always going to be there. John Kuh is going to be at number 1. However, shout out to John Chuh, because he actually turned in his picks this week.
Yes. We need to just like a real clap this time for John Christopherson.
Not a golf clap.
Not a golf clap, just a real
Hard clap.
So the theory here is that everybody was together for Thanksgiving, and there was some talk about the top 20 probably, and so it forced him to get his picks in. I don't know if that's true. It's a rumor out there. Not sure if that's true.
Yeah, that's funny. Nice, cool, yeah. And then the records for me and Noah. What, Craig? You said
I was
Noah
trying
went.
to spare you guys of your embarrassment.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty bad.
So TJ was 10-10.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. 50% on the week. And no, actually, you did much better. You were 12-8. So no, you're only 21 games back. So you technically aren't mathematically eliminated. I am 12 games back, same. And then TJ 7 back. So TJ's in the best shape right now. So don't get cocky though, because just like LSU,
Oh, I'm not cocky.
Texas A&M may come and get you.
Trust me, I know I'm gonna lose.
I'm Texas A&M.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Okay.
I'm
Rookie.
Beyonce always.
That's a good one. All right. Yeah. No, it's a good show. Good show. Never a dull moment. You always have fun making it. Oh yeah, some rumors in the transfer portal. Rumors are that Sam Hartman might be trying to transfer to Florida. I don't know. That's just insider info from what I, as a Florida fan, have looked up on. But it'll be interesting to try and see him adjust to the offenses, because Florida is such a classic offense. Like, we don't do any trick plays or anything. I mean, Billy Napier's calling all the plays, which that should probably change because it's not very good right now. But we run like a very Jimbo Fisher pound on the ground type offense, which I actually have no problem with. I kind of like it. But, it'd just be interesting to see Sam Hartman adjust, from the high speed Wake Forest offense to Florida. So,
hey, all right, enough Sam Hartman. Let's talk about a quarterback that actually has done something real quick before we end the show. TJ, give us your story about meeting a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes, I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Craig.
Lefty.
Yeah. So I was in Target, just minding my own business. We had to take a pit stop because, we went to Town Center, but I was buying some gum because I need some gum, right? And this is the gum. that allowed me to meet Tim Tebow right here. This pack of
Just gotta
gum.
sign it.
Shout out.
Well, I wasn't thinking about that. Too caught up in the moment. So got to Target, just minding my own business, just like anyone does, buying some gum. I walk out, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Timothy Tebow. I mean, I was just in shock. I will say that. It was amazing.
Wow, that's awesome. And what was he doing in Target?
Yeah, my man was buying a ladder. That's all I saw that he got. He had a couple more things, but a ladder out of all things at Target.
Probably hanging Christmas lights.
I guess.
He's a man of the people, man. He's got lots of money. He doesn't hire people to do his stuff. He's doing his own Christmas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's right.
He was with his wife too, right?
Yes, he was with
So his
Demi.
wife is like, what's her name? Demi or something
Demi.
like that. She
Demi
was Miss
Lisi.
Universe, evidently.
She was Miss Universe.
So
yes.
my wife, Mary Beth, was like, you should have got a picture with his wife. What'd you say, TJ?
I don't care about, I mean, sorry, Demi, but it's Tim Tebow. I'm not keeping up with what Demi's doing. I like Demi. She's cool. Like, it's Demi, right? But I
You
was
guys on a first name basis now?
well, no, I'm just saying, like,
Best friends.
like
I
I
like
don't,
this.
I wasn't thinking about her while I was trying to get a picture with Tim Tebow. You know, I'm too. It was an experience. I'll tell you that. Definitely a bucket list moment. Check that off. Meet Tim Tebow and get a picture.
That's awesome. Hopefully next week Noah can run into like I don't know, Jalen Hurts or something somewhere.
You should tell your story about you meeting Jacob Coker.
Oh yeah, so I'm sure all the hardcore Alabama fans, and I'm sure you guys know who Jake Coker was. He was on the 2015 national championship team, Alabama, which he was a pretty solid quarterback. I don't think he ever got drafted or anything, but he had a cannon. But we had Derrick Henry, so we just ran the ball every play. But I was in third grade. I was in Spanish for Alabama at the Olive Garden, and I was just eating my food. We were leaving. I had my Andes mints in hand, and then my dad was like, "Look over there. That's Jake Coker." And he sat down with his whole family. And I was like, "Oh, shoot, that's Jake Coker." So I walked up to him, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And then he was like, "Okay." And then I was in like fourth grade. So, most fourth graders aren't like very tall. I think he's about 6'6". So I'm standing there excited. He gets up. He's like this tall up in the air. He's towering over me, and I get a picture with Jake Coker. So that was fun.
And you were in Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So yeah, we've all met. Yeah, we've all met someone famous. Woohoo! But anyways, that was my experience. That was Friday. I will always remember that date. What was that date?
After Thanksgiving.
No.
Or was it? No, last Friday.
It was Wednesday. Wednesday. That's what it was. The 23rd. That was the day I met Tim Tebow.
Epic.
Write it down on my calendar.
Day that will live in infamy.
Yeah, seriously. All right. But yeah, it was a great experience. He's a really nice guy, as you might expect. I mean, what more can you expect from Tim Tebow? So, but anyways, great show today. We always have fun making it. So, we'll update. We got to get back on the social media stuff. We've been neglecting that. I mean, I get busy, guys. I'm a social media department over here, but yeah, it's always fun. We'll keep you updated on what we're doing in the future, and we will, I guess, see you next week for a recap of conference championships and all the good playoff stuff, right? All the bowl games. Oh man, so much excitement left in college football. Let's savor it. Woohoo! So, yeah, that is about it for this episode, and we will see you in next week's episode of Eat More Football. God bless.